Hey friends, welcome to another episode of the Growing Through Motherhood podcast. Today's episode, we are going to be talking to the mama that hates goal setting because she feels like as soon as she sets a goal, it falls flat. To the mama that thinks that goals are not important if you are a stay-at-home mom. And to the mama that just doesn't even know where to begin on goal setting. I want to point you guys to Proverbs 29:18 where it says, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." So let's dive in. Hey mama, welcome to the Growing Through Motherhood podcast, where we grow through the struggles, joys, and beautiful messes of life together. I'm Kelsey Shalane, wife, homeschooling mama of 4, creator of the Confidence to Homeschool podcast, and most of all, a lover of Jesus and coffee. Motherhood is a wild, beautiful journey that stretches, challenges, and calls us to pivot at a moment's notice. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. When we surrender it all to God, He brings growth and purpose in every single step. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's grow together. All right, guys, I am so excited for this episode. I have slowly but surely come to terms with the fact that I think New Year's is my favorite holiday. I do really love Christmas, but I think New Year's is becoming my favorite holiday. This has not always been the case. I want to be so upfront with you at the very beginning that this is not just another goals episode. It's not going to tell you to do the SMART method with goals. This is a completely different goal episode. Because I sucked at goals. I hated goals. I felt like as soon as I set a goal, it either felt like my brain started talking back to me all of this nonsense about how I was going to fail and how it was never going to happen and this, that, and the other. Or it felt like as soon as I wrote it down that I immediately just felt like a gut punch in the stomach. I hated goals for the absolute longest time. So what changed that for me was I had a lady that I saw a vision board workshop go on at my favorite coffee shop. And we showed up, my daughter and I guess the first year I did it by myself. I went and did a vision board. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. I was not prepped. I didn't really know what to do with it. And then the next year I was like, it would be really fun for my daughter and I to do together. So I brought her. And then for the last, I think 5 to 6 years, we have done a vision board. And I have just gotten better and better at it each time to where now I feel like I've done it so consistently that God kind of just shows up in it. So I got my word for the year, which is self-control. And y'all pray for me. I think it's so funny that this word makes me feel so not in my comfort zone, that self-control would be my word for the year. And I think that that's funny because I'm such a go with the flow kind of person. I have learned to let control go because it is hard to manage in a household. I have learned that control does not work well with my marriage. Control does not work well with time. There's so many places that control doesn't work. And so I really feel like this year God is telling me to pick up the self-control part of that, which means if I have an activity that I want to go to with a friend, but I have time that I need to be recording, which am I going to choose? Am I going to do what God's telling me to do, or I'm going to do what my flesh is telling me to do and go do the fun thing? Not that I'm going to have to lay all the fun things down, but if I have stuff coming up, I can plan accordingly. I just have to have the self-control to be able to come out and record, or to be able to say yes to the right things and no to the things that I know I'm not supposed to be doing. So I say all of that to say sometimes your vision of what God is calling you to do is different than what it is that you're actually feeling like you want to do. 1. 2, I really want to take this back to motherhood at those beginning years. And this whole thing will not be for just the beginning years of motherhood, but in those hard years, I guess, of motherhood, where it just feels like you are just, what am I doing here? It just feels like the joy of motherhood is sucked right out of your life and you're just trying to get through another day and you're just working in survival. And even those times where it's like, I really should go take a shower, but I just don't have any motivation to do anything. I don't want to do it anymore. All I want to do is go and run and hide and be left alone for a year, like a month, a minute. Like, give me just a couple of minutes. For those periods of time of motherhood, I was reading High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. And this is kind of a cool book because it talks in there that you can be a high performer from somebody who's, making 6 to 7 figures per year. That those people can get just as tripped up on happiness as the stay-at-home mom can. And so he tells you in here that there is a range, and he does include the stay-at-home moms in this book. And so we're following a story of a girl named Kate. She is essentially a high performer in all areas of life, but she just feels like something's missing. And so the thing that stood out to me, what he wrote, was Kate was generally confident, but the issue was she had stopped envisioning a future Kate to grow into. That's what was hurting her. No vision equals no enthusiasm. This is a rut that mothers get into. If we do not have a vision of where we're going, what we're wanting to do, if we think that our life is only meant to serve our husband and our children, of course we're going to get bogged down. Of course it's going to feel like I'm doing laundry again. Of course it's going to feel like I'm doing dishes again. Of course it's going to feel like one more fight to step into. And so I just want to encourage you to have some vision for this year. I want to show you how to actually make goals that can fit into motherhood that don't have to be these huge goals. And if you just start small, if you started with 3, 5, 7, 10, pick your number of goals that you need to work towards. And I'm going to help you because we're not going to have them as necessarily goals. We're going to put them more in like a mom / ADHD way of writing goals. So we're going to dive right in. And I want to just throw in there real quick that if you don't have goals, then there's no reason for your kids to learn how to strive for things. So giving our kids vision also is so important. When you're someone who's continuously striving to be better, your kids are going to see that. You may think of yourself as just a stay-at-home mom, but you are a leader in your household. The wife is generally the thermostat, even in my home, where I definitely believe that God has set the man of the house in that role as the leader. It's still true that if mom ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. Because whenever I'm angry, David knows I'm angry. I'm generally not being very kind to him. He gets mad, then he gets on to the kids in order to try to make it better, which oftentimes ends up making it worse. And then I'm even more angry, and then the whole house is a hot mess express, and everybody's frustrated and everybody's in turmoil. So you may think you do not need goals because you are not a leader of any sort, but in reality, you are a leader. If you want something for your children, then you need to be able to do it yourself. If you want your children to be better at reading, are you showing them that reading is important? You can show them that reading is important in all different ways. I actually have 2 out of 4 of my kids. Remind you, the 2 that I am not including in this are 2 and 6 right now. And the 2 older ones are loving to read. But what changed there was me reading. Me prioritizing them seeing me read or listen to audiobooks or whatever it was. So I say all of that to say, be the one. Be the one to show up, to show them what's important. Be the one to continue to move forward. Allow them to see each better version of you. And sometimes it takes a while to become that next better version. But this is where vision comes from. Number 1, set identity-based goals first. So I wrote down for years, I'm an exceptional wife, to remind me that that's what I was working towards. I also wrote down that I am an excellent mother and teacher because I needed to be both. So who do you want to be? What area do you want to work in? Maybe you want to be someone who is unafraid to tell others about Jesus. Maybe that's your goal. Maybe it looks like writing down, I am a light on a hill. If you want to be right there with Jesus and your goals, I highly suggest praying over your goals and allowing him to point you to where it is that he wants you. Maybe you start in Proverbs 31 and you go through for a week. You go through and read Proverbs 31 every day and see what jumps out at you. You do not have to start goals and visions on January 1st. You are allowed to start them at any point in time. Like, I love the fact that it says his mercies are new every morning. You have every single day of your life to start new things. So do not think that this only comes to January 1st. So if you need to start figuring out who are the identity-based goals that you want to be, who is the woman that you want to become in this season of life, if you want to be a better mom, then write down, I am a excellent mom, and I am an excellent teacher, or I'm an exceptional wife. It's so funny. My husband I said it so many times out loud when I was trying to become this woman, that my husband will still tell me, you are an exceptional wife, because I said it so many times that now it's just part of our language with each other. Maybe you want to be someone who loves reading the Bible. You can write down, I have learned to love reading my Bible. The great thing about identity-based goals is the fact that they don't trigger fear. They give you like a direction instead of pressure. So maybe your goal is to quit cussing. I'm grateful to have a clean, renewed, healthy heart and mind. Whatever that is for you, maybe your goal is to listen to Christian music. That could look like, I listen to Christian music for 30 minutes each day until you find yourself knowing the songs and loving them, and then you end up making the change. I always recommend not just having a vision board. Those are great, but get a notebook that you can consistently write your goals down daily to help you remind you of where you're going. If you have 5 goals, like I said, that's fine. If you have 3 goals, that's fine. If you have 10 goals, that's even better. But write them as if they have already happened. Your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination. So as you are writing them down, make sure that you're writing them as if they have already happened, so that your brain can start getting used to the fact that that is actually who I am. That is the person that I have become. Okay, number 2. Transform big goals into experiments. Hey friend, quick pause. If you're exhausted, overwhelmed, and currently hiding, hoping for 2 seconds to yourself just to reset, I get it. Peptides from Make Wellness completely changed how I show up as a mom. Actual energy, actual focus, and the shocking ability to finish a thought. If you're ready to stop living in survival mode and finally have both a clean house and calm nerves, I'll walk you through it every step of the way. Check the link in the show notes and let's get you started. Now back to our episode. Before I knew about it, this whole thing came from me going through high performance habits and him talking about goals in the traditional way that, high performers would talk about goals. People that are goal driven. I am not goal driven. I'm not somebody who is like, my goal was to read 200 books this year. I have to get it done. That is not it. I have to create simple and sustainable goals that my brain will agree with, or I will straight up not do it and it feels like another failure. So this one was huge for me, transforming big goals into experiments. ADHD brains often freeze at the word goal. So instead of goals, I can call them an experiment or a quest or whatever you want to call it. So I fell in love with this and it was new to me, but maybe your experiment is, what happens if I work out 3 days a week for 30 days? Do I have more energy? Do I get more accomplished? Do I sleep better? Do I dare say that maybe I lose a little bit of weight and gain some muscle. Your experiment can be, what happens if I do one nice thing per day for my husband, even if I don't like him? Where do we end up in 30 to 60 days? And if he asks, if he's like, okay, something's up, you're acting weird. If he asks what's up and why you're acting different, it's okay to tell him, I'm trying a new thing. I love you. I'm working on our marriage. I want to do something for you each day. So my goal this year is do one nice thing per day for the next 30 to 60 days. Like, that's totally and completely fine. So get curious. What happens if what? Make sure you fill in those blanks. Okay. Today might be a day that you need a notebook. Okay, number 3, set minimum, expected, and stretch goals. This kills the all or nothing panic. And this one was also new to me before I went down my rabbit trail with ChatGPT. And it was a little bit harder for me to work in, but I still see where it could be helpful. And so I'm still going to leave it in here. Like a minimal goal option would be, before bed, I clean up the living room, the kitchen table, and I reset the living room at night. So whenever I walk into my main living area in the morning, I don't start with chaos. Like, I don't know about you, and this has come with each child. I have actually gotten a little bit better / worse with each child, where it feels like whenever I am home and my house is a mess, it literally feels like the walls are closing in. I can feel as my home continues to get cleaner that I can breathe. It literally feels like I can breathe so much better. This is not just something you have to do either. Like, you can get your kids, we have what's called the tidy queue, where they have a list of things that they know what is involved in a tidy queue. And that is, I can say tidy queue, and that's what they do. They do all of the list of things. I'm going to do a different episode on literally just a tidy queue. That's it. I'm going to give you all of my tidy queue stuff. So just be paying attention for that if that sounds like something that you're wanting. So minimum goal, I clean up the living room, kitchen table, and reset the living room at night. That's the minimum. I come in, there's still dishes in the sink. There's still a kitchen that needs to be cleaned. Okay, that's minimum. I went to bed. I was tired. All right, the expected goal, the thing that makes me feel my best in the morning, is whenever I walk in, the dishes are done, the dishwasher is ran overnight, it's all clean, and the kitchen is completely clean, and my living room is clean, and my dining room is clean, and everything is in order, and I can walk into my space in the morning, and I can just breathe and feel good. Now, the stretched goal is if I do my tidy zone for that day. So I have my home broken up into different zones. So like one day bathrooms, one day kitchen, or yes, kitchen is one of those, but kitchen also comes with dining room, and I have like a little desk area over there. So like all 3 of those together. But those are like my once a week deep clean, which means I wipe down all of the microwave and the dishwasher and the cabinets and all of the different things. Does it actually happen once a week? No, it doesn't. I have all of these theories in my head on charts and chores and all of these systems that I am working to put into place. So that's my stretched goal. That's my thing that I would love for my different tidy zones or my zone cleaning to get done each day. Sometimes it does. Sometimes I do get the bathrooms done on the day that I'm supposed to get it done. Sometimes it's a different day. Sometimes I get all of my bathroom and my bedroom and all of the other stuff done on one particular day. It just varies. That's why it's a stretched goal. It's like, oh, that was awesome that I got this thing done. And I know at some point in time, that will just be my life. That will just be what I do. So another option because I think reading your Bible and getting in it is so important, on a minimum, expected, and stretched goal would be minimum goal, open the Bible app, read the verse of the day. Expected goal is to do a day in my Bible plan. That's what I expect of myself. If I can't do it and it's a hot mess express day, Okay, I do my minimum goal. Stretched goal is to find a place to learn further. If you are reading through your Bible and something pops off the page at you, go ahead and look it up. I have I have spent way too much time lately in ChatGPT writing like a good prompt for it to dive further into the Bible with me. It has given me so many more questions and so many more ways of thinking about these things. But what I will tell you is if you're going to plug it into ChatGPT, you also have to understand that ChatGPT is one, only 80% correct. Two, you need cited sources to make sure that it's not telling you something that is completely incorrect. And it's up to you to make sure that you're learning what is good and true. But it's great. It's given me so many like aha moments of I didn't even think about it that way. And it has been a true thing. Like it is one of the places that I went to whenever I was trying to figure out, Matthew 23 was actually related to motherhood. Like, it's been such a cool place. Whenever I started wondering about, like, how the Jews of today, how many of them actually believe in Jesus as the Messiah, because you get into the Bible later on, and it talks about how many Jews are still frustrated in trying to figure out Jesus and they still don't believe in him. And it's a very small percentage. So it is a place that I have gone to for multiple questions in the Bible that I have. And I'm, like I said, don't take it as law. Don't take it as the Bible itself. Make sure that you're actually asking the questions and then taking it with a grain of salt. But if it teaches you something and expands on your knowledge of the Bible, it can be used for a good thing. Everything that is created, God can use for good, right? Okay, number 4, keep time frames short so that they don't feel so overwhelming. This is particularly with ADHD, but I feel like for moms in general, short goals are also good because it's good for us to be able to teach our children who may or may not be ADHD, but definitely have a smaller attention span, that they can also set goals. So like you can do a 7-day goal, you can do a 4-week goal, you can do a quarterly goal. So short sprints with long-term direction are a good option. So if you are going to do a this year, go back to number 1, where we're talking about who you are building yourself to be. Honestly, this one I kind of feel like is a continuation of number 1. This is just kind of the breakdown process of this is who I want to be and this is how I'm going to get there. So I want you to take the time to just kind of break down that person. Like if you want to be the Proverbs 31 woman, just start seeing what's jumping off at the page at you and start putting little bitty action steps. For 7 days, I am going to do X. Like for 7 days, I'm going to do Y. If you're working on keeping a cleaner home, do it for a shorter period of time. Like I am going to work on 1 drawer a day for 7 days and see as an experiment where it gets me. See how much better I feel. Whatever that may be. So you're going to see how all of these can kind of come together. Okay, last but not least, maybe the most important out of all of these, is building emotional anchors instead of pressure. Love this one. And I've definitely used this. This has been part of my goal setting in the past. So who needs me to deliver this? Like for me, I need to deliver these podcasts, 1, out of obedience, but 2, because I love helping other moms. Like I literally keep this vision in my mind of the day that I came out of the shower and was just a shell of myself and broke down in tears in my husband's arms because I was just depleted to the absolute core of myself. Like I just had nothing left to give and I didn't know where I was going to pull from anymore to make it through another day. Like whenever I sit here and I record these podcasts, that is the woman that I think of that is in just such a desperate place that she just needs to be helped up. And so for me, it's listeners. Also, It can be for you, your kids. Your kids are watching you pursue things. I already said that at the beginning, but it's so incredibly important. Who needs you to show up to be a better version of yourself? Maybe it's your future self. I cannot tell you how many times I have thought my future self is going to appreciate that. Like, there's been times I have organized the spice cabinet that I'm like, my future self is going to appreciate that. Whenever I'm wanting to or not wanting to do something like unload the dishwasher and load it, my future self is going to appreciate it. So you are building the character that you want to be. Remind yourself who that person is. Maybe it's the person that is showing up for your story as a redeemed and growing woman, because clarity becomes purpose instead of pressure. Maybe you want to learn to cook more with real foods. Your family's health is going to appreciate that. So that is it for the day. I hope that this gave you a completely different way of looking at goals, a completely different way of goal setting. What I want you to do is I want you to get a piece of paper and I want you to write down a couple of different things. First things first, I want you to write down everything your heart is telling you, everything that you feel like God is speaking to you. If that doesn't feel like it's just flowing abundantly, that's okay too. But if you are somebody who heard this message and it feels like God is just abundantly flowing through who you want to be, please journal without any questions of, is this the right thing? Like, no judgment at all whatsoever. Even if it looks like a jumbled hot mess express at the end of it and it feels like none of it is connected. If we allow ourselves to journal and just get all of our thoughts out, we can sort it all out later. But it's so important to be able to write without any question marks. So if that is you, do that. First, sit down and journal what it is that you feel like you're feeling at this point in time, and then pull little goals out from there. Then take those 5 goals or whatever your number is and write them out on a daily basis for 30 days. That's where I would start. If you do not know where to start and you are thinking that you maybe want to start on like who it is that you want to become, start at Proverbs 31. Go to Proverbs 31, like I said. Spend 7 days in it. See what goals are popping out at you. If you don't want to do either of those, go in the direction that it feels best to you. But please do not sit in a life without vision. I have posted so much on social media recently about vision, and it has made me so sad how few people are showing up with goals or thoughts of what they want in the future, because it's sad to not have a place to go. And I want more than that for the world. I truly do. I want all of us to be striving to be a better person, because I've known where I was and I know where I am, and I am so grateful for that process. So I thank you very much for hanging out with me today. Love you the mostest, and I hope that you have the very best day. Hey friend, thanks for hanging with me today. If this episode made you laugh, think, or whisper, okay, Lord, I needed that, go ahead and follow the show, leave a review, or share it with another mom who needs a little holy encouragement. And hey, if you're ready for energy, focus, and calm that doesn't require a miracle, check out those peptides. Your support makes this show possible, and I'll be walking with you every step of the way. See you in the next episode.